Welcome everyone and thanks for joining me on that channel update special. Now, if you've missed the live I've done a few days ago, you may wonder what the heck is going on. Well, the big news is that me and the French Cooking Academy have decided to relocate, and we actually moved from Melbourne, Australia out into a rural town for a big sea change because I thought it was about time to do it, and it's something I really wanted to do. Now, I did mention in my live I will give you some juicy details about the precise locations where I am and stuff like that, but Google's policy on YouTubers reminds us actually that we should not, as YouTubers, divulge personal information online, and for that reason we're going to leave it as a mystery. Let's say I'm away from Melbourne, a few hours away on the coast in a very small kind of village. But we're not here to talk about my change and where I'm going and stuff like that. What we want to talk about here is two things. First, answer a few questions about the move. Why the move? What's going on? And then second, of course, new home, new location, and a new kitchen. So there's two topics in that video. So the first one, why the big move? Was it the crisis that pushed us with Kate, which is my wife, to actually do the big change? Yes and no. It's something we wanted to do already. We went to France just before the COVID crisis started, and it was a bit of an eye-opener to be in these kind of rural places, rural farms, and something we really wanted to do for some time, but I think the crisis kind of helped to give you that little extra kick to do it. And this is how it happens. We basically look for some place, we find something, and this is the new home. This is just the back. This is not something you're going to see afterwards in the videos, a bit of a peek of inside the new place for the French Cooking Academy. But for me personally, the main reason I wanted to do that, it's really to kind of go back to basics in terms of food, and in terms of cooking. It's also the natural elevation of what is the next step for me. I've been cooking for 5 years, doing a lot of things on the channel, and I think now getting more closer to producers and knowing where my food is coming from is really something I'm growing more and more passionate about. I want to live more sustainably. I want to grow my own vegetables as much as I can. I was just doing herbs. Now I've got like tomatoes going. I'm going to do like bell peppers, zucchinis, eggplants, cabbages, carrots, corn, anything I can to really reconnect with the real taste of food. Because living in a city is great, but one thing I've realized is that all the food you get is always available, and you always think, hey, I've got cherries in the middle of winter. That's great. Cherries don't taste like anything. Strawberry don't taste like anything. All the vegetables I'm getting, even the meats, I don't even know where it's coming from. It's, it's sourced from somewhere, fish are being farmed. And I thought it was time for me to kind of change all that. I wanted to take the plunge, put myself in a hard situation, and tell you what, as soon as I've been here, it's been what, a few weeks only, and already you can see the big difference, how hard it is to get stuff when it's not in season, especially like vegetables. So this is something I'm gonna have to get used to this way somewhere. Today we're not doing a cooking video per se, because I need to get used to the kitchen, I need to get used to everything, know where to get my stuff. So you will know more about all of these. But this big change is really part of the brand new values of the French Cooking Academy. And as I did mention at the beginning of the video, there is also a big change in terms of the kitchen. I've been shooting the videos in a tiny kitchen for 5 years, and I think it was about time for a change. But of course, what is the kitchen looking like? I tell you already, it's big, and it's actually way different than the other one. But that comes, that brings us to the second subject of that video. What I want to talk about today is that talking about the dream kitchen, when maybe you have a smaller kitchen, you think, I always wanted to have that dream kitchen, there's large space and I can do all kinds of sort of things in there. But what is the actual experience? And I'm going to give you my live impression as someone that moved from a small house to a larger house with a large kitchen. What are the pros and cons? So let's discover all that right now with the kitchen reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am glad to present to you the new face of the French Cooking Academy. And look how huge that place is. It is a brand new experience for me, but if you look at all my other videos, you will see that it's been filmed in that small kitchen. It's been more than 5 years. And to be honest, I think it was about time I did a bit of an upgrade, because I've been showing you guys that environment, and it was starting to show its limitations. So based on what I said, pros and cons of a large kitchen, the dream kitchen. You're coming into a kitchen like this, you think, oh my God, I want a dream kitchen. But is it really that easy? Now for me, when you make a kitchen or whatever like that, the bench is the first thing that is so important. Now this is stone. The whole bench, look, look how big. You can knead and you can bake, and you look at, I can't even reach. This is absolutely, I think I can make the largest bread on the planet. Well, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but honestly, tons of bench space to do my presentation and everything. You can put your apparatus as well. This used to be a feature in my old kitchen. That looks like a toy. It looks like a toy. Look at this. I just put it in a corner, but it's totally dwarfed. Everything is dwarfed. So space is good. Okay, so you've got the bench made of stone, that's great, but what about the amount of space you have, And this is something I've realized by moving into that kitchen, is that, wow, this is actually a lot of space. And when you work, I used to be able to kind of, make something here and then grab something there and grab a pan and move behind. And this is so big that you have actually to walk every time. And sorry for the cable, by the way, I'll talk about it in a sec. This is for the microphone. You have to walk towards there, and you can bring something and bang. And these are kilometers. If you do this the whole day long, I don't even start to mention, like, this is the oven here. If I go to the fridge, I have to go, and it keeps on going. And that's a lot of getting used to it. So this is the first thing I'm going to tell you. If you have this plan for a massive kitchen, keep this in mind, that you're going to be walking, and it's going to be a lot of effort, and everything is not available. If you want to take a plate, I need to run to another cupboard that's really far away. So you have to kind of get used to the space and get organized. This is vital, but don't get something too big, because you might regret it if you're used to smaller spaces. For me, also another thing, I came to this kitchen, it's already set up with some stuff. The stove, for me, is where it starts. That is an electric stove, a cooktop. Now it's basically a heating element covered with a ceramic glass. Looks fancy, looks good, it's not induction. So all what it does is like an electric cooktop. It just heats up, gets very hot, it takes ages to get hot, and when it's hot, it does not cool down quick at all. So basically you've got zero control or very little control over your cooking, which makes it actually really annoying for my part. I'm used to gas. I'm getting this replaced to a brand new gas stove. The range wood is also something you have to be careful with. This is like 70 centimeters wide. This usually has to be way, way bigger than your cooktop. So if you build a kitchen again, don't think a small range wood is going to do. That thing has to be massive in a huge kitchen to capture all of the grease and the fumes. Otherwise your house is going to be smelling like fish, meat and stuff. Not really pleasant. Next, the oven. Now this is for me such a welcome addition. I don't have anymore to kind of bend down with the camera to show you something. Now I'm like, you know what? Have you seen these shows on Netflix? This is like, I'm feeling like I'm on Netflix. Hey, this is the cake. This is the cake of the day. It's going to be pretty cool. But that's not what I want to talk about. The oven is something I've been discussing with my students on the online school. It is super important when you come to a new place or when you buy an oven that you totally master all of the functions of your oven. So because I'm new in this kitchen, I've got no idea how that thing works. First time I'm seeing it. If I turn it on, I can see there are some functions on here I can go to, and there's basically 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 10 different modes. Okay, from roasting to grilling, you've got top element, bottom element, fan force, circular air, vertical fans, there's all kinds of things. You need to study your oven in order to have the best result, okay? And I'm always saying this on my students, and if you're watching people from the online school, read your manual and get to know your oven. Same for the cupboard placement, okay? I've got drawers on here, drawers on there, cupboards on here. You need to get yourself organized. When you're in the kitchen and you're going to be cooking a lot, it's nice to have plenty of fancy drawers, but keep in mind, look at me. I'm going to be here when I need something and I'm cooking. I can't stop and run somewhere else because things are going to burn. So I'm organizing all the necessary things, the tools in front of me in these drawers. I've got some pans on here, so there's some priority and things that you need to learn. Okay, so this is just some little tips about the kitchen. I'm not gonna go on and on about this because I don't want to bore you with all the details, but just to keep in mind that sometimes moving into a large kitchen is not as easy as it looks. But away from that, basically this is it, guys. This is the new home of the French Cooking Academy. And as you can see, it's large, there's plenty of natural light. And these is also another limitation. I will finish with these, by the way. If you're any person that wants to record something in a kitchen, I used to get away with these kind of cable microphones with an attachment here, so I could speak and walk around the kitchen. But this place is so big that I had to order a whole new professional set of wireless microphone system. And these are the small implications. Sometimes even for me as a small channel, a YouTuber, I'm going to have this fancy equipment with a wireless system on the camera, wireless system on here, so I can walk around, grab stuff, like the Netflix style. It starts to be like a bit of a television type of production. But don't worry, like I said on the live, I am not going to overproduce that show at all. We're not transforming the channel into anything else. It's not becoming a lifestyle channel or anything like that. And we're just gonna concentrate on French cooking, the same as always, except that the kitchen is gonna be a little different. It's gonna be better for me. For the demonstration, I've got more space to put the ingredients, to showcase stuff, maybe make some baking. So I think it's gonna be more fun, and you're gonna have a better angle, better view, better light for you as someone who watched the videos. I hope it's gonna make the whole experience that little bit better. But that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna end up this video. Sorry for the casual looks and everything, but like I said, this is work in progress. But regardless of what happened, next week we will start making a simple thing. If my stove is not arrived, we'll still try to go through this, and we're gonna experience together what's going on with the stove, cooking with an electric stove, something difficult, something you're not used to, and see what we can come up with. But that's it for me, guys. As always, if you have any questions, use the comment sections. And don't forget, if you want to support me in these times, Patreon page, you can become a patron. And we've got also the online cooking school. Don't forget about that, where you can all the technicalities of French cooking. So let's start the new adventure next Thursday in the new kitchen for another French cooking recipe. Take care all. Bye-bye.